Hola chicos, nos encontramos en las oficinas de 2K que hemos estado jugando al Evolve. Me encuentro ahora mismo con Iain Willows, el International Producer de 2K. Hi Ian.
Hello, hola.
Le vamos a hacer unas poquitas preguntas para que nos pueda resolver las dudas que tenemos de este juego, aunque lo hemos estado jugando un buen rato. Ian, tell us a little bit about your game. What are we going to find in the universe of Evolve?
Okay, so Evolve is a 4v1 cooperative and competitive shooter. It's a game that's made by Turtle Rock Studios, the guys who are behind Left 4 Dead, have worked a lot on Counter-Strike. The idea of the game is that you play a team of hunters. You can play 4 player-controlled hunters battling against a monster, but it can also be controlled by a player. So it really changes that sort of big boss battle and puts the boss battle in the hands of the player. The game takes place on a planet called Shear. It's one of those sort of outer reaches planets that's sort of the edge of the galaxy, really sort of dangerous places for humans. And you know, the environment is kind of a dangerous place. So these hunters have been called in as a specialist team to try and take down the monsters that are causing a bit of problems on the planet.
And there are 2 hunters against 1 monster. Isn't the monster in a disadvantage?
There were 4 hunters against the monster. Kind of yes, but no. So you see the monster and you think this is a big sort of strong beast and the humans are going to be in trouble. But the core of Evolve is about team play. So each of these hunters have a very specific role in the team. So you have the assault guy who does damage, the medic who's there to keep people alive, and it's really this combination of all these abilities that makes them a very sort of powerful force. Now the monster starts the game in a sort of small state. He's about twice the size of a human. Now, the monster's role during the game is to try and feed on the wildlife and get stronger. So he can get stage up to stage 2 and stage 3, where he becomes, 30 foot tall, very strong. So at the start, yes, the hunters can have an advantage, but the monster is quite agile. He can get away, and he's quite fast. And if the monster reaches stage 2, there's a kind of balance there where they can be a really fair fight. By the time the monster gets to stage 3, it takes a very good team of hunters working really well together to try and take him down. So it's a really balanced affair, and again, it depends on who's playing the game as to how it plays. Certain players play differently the monster, and it depends on how the teamwork goes for that hunter team.
You talk about roles. In my opinion, something that is very, very interesting in this game is that you can choose a role being a hunter.
Yes.
It's a first-person shooter, but I think that it has a kind of role-playing game.
Kind of, you could say that, yeah. So the roles are very specific. So, it's a first-person shooter for the hunters. For the monster, it's a third-person game. The monster plays in third person. But the roles are very specific. So you have medic, and you have assault, and you have trapper, and you have support. Now, the roles are that specific that, you expect to have a big gun. You find a monster and you have a big gun. The medic doesn't have a gun. She has weapons that can influence the game, but primarily her role is to heal the teammates. And the same for the support. The support is there to give a sort of a tactical advantage. So it really depends on each person playing these roles to really use them to the best of their abilities, and that's how it works best.
And seriously, it's very interesting for me because I think that mixing a shooter with a role with roles.
Yeah.
Do you think that this idea makes the game more strategy play than other shooters? Where did this idea come from?
So the original idea is the 4v1 idea. And it really does. It's, as you say, it's a really sort of tactical game for the hunters in how they deal with the monster. So today we're only showing you one monster, which is the Goliath, but there will be multiple monsters when we ship. Monsters that are different, that hunt, that move in different ways. So it really gives a different challenge to the hunters, and they have to change. So the tactics is there, even for the monster. The monster can be played in so many different ways, just the Goliath. You think that he just has to be like a melee beast to smash things up, but he can be played in a quite a stealthy way to stay away from the hunters, to really sort of not let them get near him until he gets to stage 3 and then go on the attack. There's just so much levels of nuance to the game, even now when you see just the content we've shown you today.
Now we are going to talk about the versions. We will find different characteristics between console version and PC versions?
No, all the platforms will be identical. They have parity. Yeah.
Perfect. And finally, what do you think about the future of Evolve?
The future of Evolve. Well, it's a good question. The future is good for Evolve. You know, it's. I mean, we've seen the reaction from the people that we've shown the game so far, and the reaction is really good. And it's only a very small part of Evolve. So, you know, we really see Evolve as really a big title for 2K. It's we have a great studio in Turtle Rock who are known for making really good games. They have a fantastic idea here. You know, we're putting our all our support behind them, and you know, I think the future is very good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a very fun game, and it's also a little bit difficult because it has a very important part of strategy, I think.
It is, and you know, unlike other games where you have a cooperative element, you know, this one is so reliant on that teamwork. It is a difficult thing, but I think once people understand the roles they're playing and actually understand the role they have to play and how it fits into that team, it all starts to make sense. And from that point, people just start to get better and better at the game. And it's the same for the monster. You know, it works in the same way that you learn a little bit, then you learn a little bit more, and you're like, this is the way to play the monster. This is how I do it, and you get better and better. And even now, as we play the game in the office, we learn new tactics because, let's say the hunters are changing their tactics as the monster, you have to change yours. It's changing all the time, and it's really fun to do.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, Iain.
No problem. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you very much for this interview.